Hi, and welcome along to the full-time show. I'm joined by Frank Hastings, and we are discussing Arsenal winning by 1-0 tonight away at Brentford. It was a tough game, tough old game, but we got the job done, and we're through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. We're also going to be keeping an eye on the draw because the draw is happening as we speak, so we'll be able to find out who Arsenal have drawn in the next round. And of course, we got you guys joining us live here as well. We've got live callers coming on tonight as well in FANZONE, so make sure you get involved in that. But Frank, before we get our first call up, that was an impressive win today. Really tough game.
Absolutely. And, you know, I expected some rotation today purely because of the injury crisis that we've got at the club at the moment. So I expected to see all those rotations today. Brentford were taking it quite seriously. That was a very strong team that they fielded. It's a much bigger competition for these smaller clubs. And that's no disrespect to Brentford or anything, but they're not a club the same size as Arsenal. And so it's something they would have wanted to win. However, we've stopped that for them today, and I can't complain at all.
No, I can't complain at all. It was, as I said, it was a hard-fought win because really in the second half, they put it on us. They were long throws, lots of crosses.
I was getting flashbacks to that first game of the season when I saw those.
Do you remember that?
I remember. When I saw those long throws, I was getting panicky. Started shaking.
Very, very panicky. Right, well, we're going to jump straight in and we're going to try and get some callers. I think we've got Michael.
Yes,
Michael, how you doing, bro? How are you?
How you doing, guys?
Good, man, good. I haven't been on this for a while. I've been at all the games this season. I didn't go to the game tonight. My brother took my place, but they would have loved what they saw. It was an old-fashioned, an old-fashioned English football game where the ball was up in the air a lot of times in that second half. It was very direct from Brentford, but we coped with it.
Yeah, blood and guts. Several things. I think Eddie learned from the Spurs game that when he's in that position on the near post, he should look to square it to someone running rather than try to beat the keeper. And I wish that he had done what he did today, squaring to Nelson against Spurs. Second thing, when Arteta evaluates Ramsdale versus Raya, he's got to take into consideration the saves that Ramsdale makes, like that fingertip 5-degree deflection onto the post, that don't look as sexy as the save that Raya made against Spurs, but is actually much more difficult. And that's where the margin comes in, where for me, I feel like Ramsdale is just ever so slightly a better shot stopper. And I think that should count for something.
Did you see his celebration?
There was a few of them as well.
Right, he turned around to the crowd because obviously they were giving him loads of stick. Obviously, Raya used to play for Brentford. They were giving him loads and loads of stick, and he turned around to the crowd and sort of went, "Yeah, and what?"
And the ball was still in play. That's what's funny. The ball was still in play when he's making these celebrations.
Yeah,
I love it.
I liked watching Kiwior and Tomiyasu really getting physical in the second half. They're joining with Gabriel on that. But when it's all hands to the pump and they're putting all the pressure on, I like seeing them just throw their bodies in front of the shots. I mean, I get more confidence about Kiwior watching that match. I'm sorry, I still don't understand what Arteta has in mind for Havertz. I can't visualize the role that he's going to play, whether it's a number 10 or a number 8, or like what sequence of events is going to cause Havertz to blossom into the 65 million pound player. I'm not even complaining about Havertz. I'm just saying I don't know what that is. I don't understand whether or not it actually happens. I don't understand what Arteta has in mind for him. Finally, my enjoyment of any away win this season is going to be diminished by those hideous jerseys. I mean, we went from the coolest... No, seriously, we went from the cool black jerseys, which were so elegant last season, to this stuff that makes it look like a zebra has become a crossing guard. I mean, seriously,
what was this comment we got? What was the comment we got in the stream about we look more like the bees than the bees?
Yeah, we look more like the bees than the bees.
No, I mean, what were they thinking? That has to be the ugliest jersey I've ever seen, and it's so hard for me to get past my almost physical aesthetic disgust. Like when I watch those away performances.
Listen, you won't be complaining, right? If we win the league in it, You won't be complaining then. You'll be trying. I better go and get one of them collector's item.
Yeah, no. But okay, finally, for us, the Carabao Cup may seem like a glorified friendly, but we go to gain a little patch of ground that hath in it no profit but the name. To pay 5 ducats, 5, I would not farm it, nor will it yield to Norway or the Pole a ranker rate.
Classic Michael.
Come on, you guys.
Listen, man, I love this guy, man. Thank you very much,
All right,
Mike, man.
see you soon.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Take care, Michael.
Trust me, man. Shakespeare himself, man. Every time, apart from when he sees that away kit. I don't like it. I don't like it either. Mind you, Charlene looked good in it, man. She brought it out, innit?
Absolutely.
That's the thing about it. On some people, it looks really, really nice. Yeah. But I don't think it will work on me, that's for sure. Let's get another caller up. We got Ryan up. Ryan, how are you doing?
Yes, Ryan. How's it going?
Yeah. Big up Robbie and Frank, man. You good?
No, I'm really good, man. What did you make of the game? I mean, let's first of all, I've got a question to ask you straight away. I'm jumping straight in with it. On Saturday, who should start, Ramsdale or Raya?
It's such a hard question at the moment, isn't it?
Are you talking for this game tonight? Who would have started tonight?
On Saturday's game, away at Bournemouth, who starts, Ramsdale or Raya?
I've got to go with Raya. Rob, man. And you know what?
Why?
The reason why I'd go with Raya, because I just feel like his positioning and his catching from set pieces, in terms of him being so calm and settled at the back, he makes Gabriel and Saliba a lot more settled from behind them as well. And I just feel like our back four just looks more solid with Raya behind, because...
But look how many long throws and look how many balls were getting pumped into the box tonight, right? And Ramsdale dealt with every single one of them. His defence looked very, very settled and very organised in front of him. We were under the cosh for about half an hour of that second half, and they didn't.
It was a very nervous ending. I won't lie. I was thinking, I was watching the game thinking, I don't want flashbacks from like the first games of the season where we was hanging on against Nottingham Forest. But Robbie, one thing I will say with Raya and Ramsdale for me, as he had a good game tonight, but he has these moments where he dwells on the ball too much. And even tonight, he nearly made a mistake towards I think it was the last 5 to 10 minutes of the first half, where we nearly got caught out of possession and Buemo nicks it, but then nothing resulted out of it. But we got away with a few things tonight. Even Jorginho a little bit tonight in the early stages of the first half, dilly-dallying on the ball. But I'd go with Raya because I think he makes the back four more composed. But listen, if Ramsdale starts, I ain't going to complain. We've got a good problem there between those two. But overall tonight, the first half I thought was quality. I was impressed with Nelson, and Nketiah played decent tonight, I would say. I was impressed a little bit with Sagu Jr., the guy that was on the right-hand side. Yeah. Some nice little neat touches, and he was linking up well with Emil Smith-Rowe and Jorginho and everyone. But I just thought to myself, me watching tonight's game, I'll be real, I'm not happy with the way we're playing overall, though, still. I can't lie. Like, yes, I know it's still early days.
There's a lot of changes tonight, though. Come on.
You've got
to remember, there's loads and loads of changes.
And we rotated heavily tonight. That's what I've got to admit. But the only thing is, I look at some of the chances that we create, even with Jesus, Trossard, and when we have our fully fit team, Robbie, we still haven't replaced Aubameyang, in my opinion. I still think we lack a 25 to 30 goal a season striker that it can be 0-0 for about 80 minutes and then bang, literally someone's drawn us out of the game and got us 3 points. But listen, we got the job done tonight. We got out of there, and listen, it's all about getting through to the next round. I saw your question as well, Robbie. Made me smile early, actually. I think it was the first bit.
I was about to ask about this. I was about to ask about this.
Whether you would stay in the Carabao Cup or focus on Bournemouth on Saturday. Whether you
I said if you could choose one before the game started, if you could choose one, win tonight or win at Bournemouth, you can only choose one.
I've got which one would you take? Potts' answer, you know, the only reason why
you went for the trophies.
I honestly we'd both want to win both. We'd obviously want to win both, but this is a cup competition and we've not won. This is a trophy at the end of the day. We won that FA Cup like 3-4 seasons ago with Arteta now. We need to start getting trophies on the table again, man. And for me, if we let's say we slip up against Bournemouth on Saturday, worst result, I don't want that to happen because we're already 4 points behind Man City already as it is. But there's still a lot of Premier League games to play. Whereas I now look at tonight, Newcastle have knocked out Man City, and I can just see the draw's going to take place here in a minute. It's anyone's competition now, Rob. Like we've got to go for this trophy. And
100.
You know what? Turkish and Cecile made a fan cam as well, saying should we take every cup seriously? For me, we've got to be fighting on all fronts this season, man, because none of this. Oh, we've got bigger fish to fry last season, Rob. Don't think I didn't see that, man. But it's one of those ones where we've got to go for everything, guys, man. We can't be throwing away cup competitions.
Okay, well, listen, thank you.
What do you guys think tonight?
Nah, brilliant tonight. You like it, Frank?
Listen, can't complain at all. Clean sheet, 1-0 to the Arsenal. Through to the next round. 0 complaints from me.
0 complaints. Listen, thank you very much, Ryan. We're going to go to because we're going to have a look at the draw now. Thank you very much, Ryan, and everybody else. Get involved. Don't forget, get involved here on FanZone. But the draw is taking place right now. Let me just remind you of the teams still left in the draw, Frank.
Yeah.
Burnley, Exeter City, Ipswich Town, Man United, Mansfield Town, Middlesbrough, Port Vale, Bournemouth, Everton, Blackburn Rovers, of course, us, the Arsenal, Chelsea, Fulham, West Ham United, Liverpool, and Newcastle United. Who would you like and who do you definitely don't want?
Do you know what? With these cup competitions, I always think it's best to...
hold on, newsflash.
Have we just been drawn?
Newsflash, right? There's one. Look at this one that's been drawn out. Manchester United versus Newcastle.
See, this is going to sound crazy. I wanted Newcastle.
You wanted Newcastle? No.
With these competitions, I want the bigger teams first, so it makes it easier when it goes to the latter stages.
Manchester United have drawn Newcastle. Ipswich have drawn Fulham.
Wow.
So that's a great draw for Ipswich.
Big up Ipswich as well. Obviously, they beat Wolves to get to this round.
Mansfield Town versus Port Vale. Bournemouth have just drawn Liverpool. So we've avoided already Man United, Newcastle, and Liverpool.
Still Chelsea in there.
I want a home draw. No matter who we get,
100%.
I want a home draw. Chelsea are still in it.
Yep, Chelsea.
I was talking about big clubs.
That's what I was hoping you'd say, Robbie. That's why I said it.
We're going to get them at home now. Why did I say that? No, we get them away.
Away to West.
Oh, we're away to West Ham. That is a tough draw.
I like that draw. I like that.
That is a tough draw for Arsenal. That's not what I wanted.
I mean, obviously, I
wanted at home to Exeter.
Naturally. I'm glad that we've got a big team because it's something we can take seriously. And obviously, being from East London, all my family's West Ham. So it's a big game within the family. I'm looking forward to this one.
No, away to West Ham is
that's the big one.
Very difficult game. Chelsea have drawn Blackburn Rovers. So a very favourable draw for
Todd Bowley
Chelsea.
Cash favourable draw.
Yeah, very. Once upon a time back in the day, Blackburn did what Chelsea did and sort of bought their way to the title. But
to be fair, with the way that Chelsea are playing right now, I wouldn't rule out a Blackburn win.
yeah. But Chelsea have got a home draw. As I said, West Ham versus Arsenal. I want to get your reactions to that. West Ham versus Arsenal. Let's get an immediate reaction. We got Daniel. Daniel, how you doing? Daniel? You've heard that draw. West Ham away is our reward. That will not be easy.
The Declan Rice derby.
The Declan Rice derby. If he plays in it. But I'm
sure he's going to play in that game. I'm very, very sure about that. It's a tough draw, but as Frank rightly said, it's good to get the top teams right now and play them out of the way. So when you get to the latter end, we got the easier run.
I disagree, man. I wanted somebody like Exeter. Like I've just seen the Exeter have drawn Middlesbrough. Exeter at home. Get some. If you look at Manchester United last year, right, when they won the Carabao Cup, every single one of their games were at home, and it's a massive advantage when you're playing at home. Massive advantage, and then then you get to Wembley, and then you take it there. But I wanted a home draw. That's a difficult game.
Yeah, even right now, I think Manchester United has still been drawn at home against Newcastle, so they probably just tend to get home draw all the time.
Yeah, at home. And Manchester United have an excellent record at home. So they, even though that's a tough game for them, I'm sure they'll be happy with that. But West Ham, Frank.
I'm looking forward to it. Do you know what? Arsenal versus West Ham is generally quite a good game when it's on. And obviously West Ham being at home, they're going to want to take the game to us. I really do think it's going to be an entertaining game. We've been to the London Stadium before. Quite famously, I think of that 5-1 game where we had the likes of Alexis Sanchez back in. So we've been there before. We've obliterated them at their own stadium before. I think it's going to be a good game.
Quite famously, last year we were 2-0 up and ended up throwing that away.
Thanks for reminding me about that one, Robin. Cheers.
You're bypassing that one. You know what I mean? That's and it will be and they've been playing all right this season, West Ham.
Of course, they've been playing all right this season. Don't forget, we're still unbeaten this season, Rob. So probably, I think the draw is a nice draw. A London derby. The players won't be traveling up to the north, so it's not something I should be kicking myself all about because we're playing West Ham. West Ham are according to Kai, they are nobodies. So we just have to ready ourselves on the day of the game and go there, slap this guy's training, and come back with all to the quarterfinals.
And quickly, what did you make of the game tonight?
Yeah, tonight's game was the first half was okay, but the second half I think the boys really dig in to get through to the next round. But I think if today's match was at the Emirates, I believe we would have conceded today. Because we tend to concede. We faced 16 shots today, 2 on target, and the Ramsdale was at his best today. But if this game was to be at the Emirates, I'm very, very sure we're going to concede today, Rob.
It's weird, isn't it, that we concede at the Emirates. We haven't conceded away from home yet this season.
What could it be, though? Because if you think about it psychologically, you'd be more distracted by an away crowd, that being away. What could it be?
Is it that thing, though, Frank, where some people have suggested that we get too carried away at home.
True.
We don't have the composure we have away from home. Like tonight now, even when we were under the cosh, you know what I mean, we showed a lot of composure. We stuck to the task at hand. Yeah. You know, whereas at home, are the players trying so hard to impress the fans that maybe they're doing the wrong things? I mean, Jorginho the other day, why did he do that?
It's a moment of madness. He's not intentionally done it. It's just, it's unfortunate.
I think the players tend to play with so much emotion at home than away. At away, they tend to have the concentration, but at home, I feel they play with the fans, and too much emotion goes into the game, and they want to impress the fans, and that's why those mistakes tend to happen. But at away game, I think there's a level of concentration whereby they know they're playing against the fans, playing against the team, and even against the referee sometimes. So the level of concentration is very high, unlike at home.
Okay, listen, one last question before you go. Who starts in goal on Saturday against Bournemouth, Aaron Ramsdale or David Raya?
Very easy, David Raya.
Easy?
Yeah, man.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Did you see the performance tonight?
Did you see the performance David Raya has been having in the Arsenal shirt?
Yeah.
Have you seen the performances that Ramsdale's had in an Arsenal shirt, though?
I'm not disputing the fact that Ramsdale is a good goalkeeper. But there's a calmness with David Raya at goal, like when kicking out from the back. There's a level of calmness.
Ramsdale's distribution was good today.
1 point. But still, I'll still go with David Raya because Mikel Arteta believes he's the number one currently, and we'll go with David Raya.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much
for
your call. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Just to let everybody know what the draw is, let me just run through it quickly. This was the draw. West Ham United versus the Arsenal. So we've drawn West Ham away. Mansfield versus Port Vale. I would have wanted one of them too, man. I wanted man. Ipswich Town versus Fulham. Manchester United versus Newcastle United. That's a tasty one. Game. Bournemouth versus Liverpool. Chelsea versus Blackburn Rovers, Everton versus Burnley, the Sean Dyche derby, and Exeter City, who I wanted at home, I was getting greedy, versus Middlesbrough.
So we've got the Sean Dyche derby and we've got the Declan Rice derby
in the next
round.
Declan Rice derby. We've got Geronimo on the line.
Geronimo.
How you doing, bro?
Hey, I'm good. How about you?
Yeah, no, good. What did you make of it tonight?
I think we played well. I think maybe at the end, Brentford was a bit on top of us, but the rest of the game, we controlled it. Havertz, I I want to back Havertz. Like, believe me, I really do, and I want to believe in Arteta and what he sees in Havertz, but I just can't with the indifference he plays with. Like, it's like he can't be asked to play football. Like, I don't know there in England, but here in Colombia, since grassroots, they teach us pass it and get into space. Pass it and get into space. He just passes it and he just like stays there looking at everything pass by him. And he was brought in to be like a more offensive role of Xhaka. And he's not doing that. And I really want to back him, but it's really hard when with that kind of indifference. The new boy, forget his name, sorry, looked really good. I think he
Sego Junior.
Sego Junior. He looked good. Eddie, I think he was good, but we're just at a different level. It's like with Rob Holding. Like it doesn't mean he's a bad player. It's just we're at a different level. Ramsdale was good as expected. Like he's a great shot stopper.
So same question for you. Does he start on Saturday if you was in charge? Would you start him or Raya?
I don't. That's
Such
really
a hard question. But however, it's a good situation for us to be in as a club, if you ask me, to have two goalkeepers of, for me, equal ability, but not just the number one and then a backup goalkeeper, two number ones for some serious competition.
Yeah, I think maybe he'll go with Ramsdale because it's like a lower tier game than. And we have
hold on, wait a minute. I don't want to know what he'll go with. I want to know, what would you do?
I'd go with Ramsdale, get him a bit more confidence. It's not a big game like the North London Derby. We have Champions League the other week. Then we have Manchester City. And, I mean, Ramsdale was good. And we all know he's a good shot stopper. I mean, it's just with the ball at his feet, like, I get like mini heart attacks when he has the ball at his feet.
It's definitely
like with Raya. I see how they press Raya and they're like this close, and I'm calm. I know he's not gonna lose ball. I know it's not gonna lose possession.
That's part of the excitement about Ramsdale, though. Isn't it?
It's a strange excitement, though, isn't it? It's a strange situation. He gets you on the edge of your seat,
man. He played his distribution today was really good, though. It really was good, Frank.
No, absolutely. I can't remember what the stat was. I'm sure it was about 88% pass accuracy or something like that. But it's definitely not a strong point of his game. But the way I look at it is you've got two goalkeepers that...
Not a weak point either.
It's not a weak point. It's just not... For example, it doesn't stand out like Raya's distribution does. And if I look at
he looks like under pressure, like when he gets the ball, like he doesn't know... He's missing like that calmness that Raya brings.
And this is kind of the thing that I think Mikel was suggesting in terms of I think you spoke about substitute goalkeepers, and I think that's the reason behind it, because you need different goalkeepers. I think he believes you need different goalkeepers for different scenarios. When we need to be a lot calmer on the ball, maybe you see Raya come into the game. When we need world-class save after world-class save, you have Ramsdale in the game. We've got two amazing goalkeepers that are good at different aspects of the game, and I think it's a great situation to be in.
Well, listen, thank you very much for coming on, man.
I got a question for you guys.
Oh, you got one question for us? Okay.
Yeah. Against West Ham away. First team or B team like this? Like the only starting 11 player was Gabriel, really.
For me, it depends
because
on
Eddie was
the games
starting
around
just
it.
because of injuries.
You know what? Let me look at when...
We also had Ben White in the team, so that's another starting.
Yeah. Ben White.
I think it depends on the games around it, because I think we've only fielded this.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the fixtures now and see when that game.
Would it be updated so far? I think
I don't see it on Arsenal's website yet for when that game will actually take place.
I'm not sure if they would have updated it yet.
So it all depends, because if that game comes,
13th of October.
The 13th.
So we just need to look at the fixtures.
30th of October. So that game, we would have played Sheffield United on the Saturday.
Ooh,
between Sheffield United at home and Newcastle away. Change team.
Yeah, purely because it's Newcastle game, away.
Newcastle away on the weekend.
Yeah,
there'll be changes. There'll definitely be changes. But listen, I think it will be. I think you might see a stronger team than I don't know.
It's just slightly stronger opposition for me. So maybe you might see not always, as much. Right, for certain, you won't see like Sego Junior, for example.
Yeah,
but you will still see.
And I guess the thing is, it all depends because I also feel that there was so many changes tonight. A lot of that was to do with the fact that we picked up a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
So I feel had there not been so many injuries, maybe there wouldn't have been so many changes. But also, it could be that Mikel Arteta looks on it and says, well, you know what, these lot did so well. And, you know, against a team that we were right under the cosh that, you know, I trust most of them to play against West Ham. So it's going to be really interesting to see. But certainly I would have preferred a home game. A home game, you always want to be at home in the early stages of this competition, but it's not the end of the world. Thank you very much for your call. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
I think we've got Dylan up next.
Oh, we're back a bit.
The beauty of live production,
the
guys.
camera angles have changed there, man. Wait, what's going on? I need to center myself.
I'm sure we'll
straighten yourself up, man. Yeah, you're good, bro.
It's like crouch down and we'll be
I've got to hold it.
Yeah, your arm's gonna hurt you.
How
you doing anyway? You
good? Having trouble with this the other night.
You good?
Yeah, that works. Yeah, what are you saying?
Yeah, you happy with West Ham away next?
Yeah, I reckon that'll be a good game, you know. I feel like we should be able to take it to any team, and generally we tend to get quite good results against West Ham home or away. So, you know, we're up for it. I think, yeah, obviously you prefer to get some of the lower tier teams, so that way you'll be more comfortable playing your B teams and that. But I feel like if we want to be where we're going, then we should be comfortable taking on a team like West Ham. You know, it's not like Newcastle United or anything. You know what I mean?
And who stood out for you tonight?
Tomiyasu, man. Absolutely. I think between Tomiyasu, Gabriel, I think Ramsdale was class. Like, but most of our back line, I think they were really up against it today because I don't really feel like the players further up the pitch are really like putting as much of a shift in as they could have been. I feel like we were quite open in the midfield, so it tended to mean that we were getting like a lot of balls being swung in, loads of balls being thrown in over the top because we weren't giving up too much pressure at the top of the field. And Tomiyasu and Gabriel had to deal with absolutely everything with the high line. And they rose to it. Like Whistle was like all over Tomiyasu today. I feel like Tomiyasu rose to every single one of his runs.
Cass
really
looked a bit challenging today, didn't he? Cass looked a bit challenging today. But would you agree with the opinion that I'm of the opinion that, you know, everyone that played today no one played below a 7 for me. I think everyone was at that good level.
Know. I feel like Nketiah was a 7. I know he got his assist, and I can see that he's putting his heart out there, and you know, at least he's trying compared to some other players. Do you know what I mean? But I still feel like he doesn't have that kind of final output compared to Jesus. Like there's just such a stark difference whenever we see Jesus come on the field to Nketiah, and it's not a fault with Nketiah as a person. I just think he doesn't raise our standards enough. And yeah, I just feel like his output, he breaks up the play quite a bit. He definitely gives us a lot of drive. And he's, you know, will chase after every single ball, and he wins us a lot of fouls up the pitch, especially when we're trying to play out of their press and stuff. And Nketiah is good for that kind of thing. I just think he doesn't have that kind of X factor. I feel like he was a 7, and Havertz, I had him down as like a 5, man. I was pulling my hair out in this performance.
That's a bit harsh.
I know.
I understand the frustration, but for me, I don't think he necessarily did anything wrong. He's just not.
Yeah, but he doesn't do anything right.
This is why I understand what you're saying. He's not. I don't think he's positive enough, and he should be in the position that he's in.
I think the thing is with Havertz though, as a lot of people say, he doesn't do anything wrong, but then with his the way he's kind of languid and like the way he sort of slows down our play. Whenever I'm looking to see Arsenal like get up the pitch, I always see him like play a pass like a couple feet behind where it needs to be, or slow down the ball too much, or in so many misplaced passes. I don't think he actually didn't do anything wrong today. I thought there was a lot of moments where he gave away the ball in like moments where we were trying to move into transition and they were starting to put the pressure on us, which meant that like they were able to swing the momentum and swing the field tilt out in those moments. I thought Havertz was poor today, man. I know it's quite divisive in the fan base at the moment because I feel like the jury's still out for a lot of people. A lot of people want to give him a chance. I just think it's such a shame that we're in such a good position last season with Xhaka, and now it feels like we've taken a few steps back to go through like a recovery a recovery period for a player like Havertz when we're in such a good position last season. We spent 60 million on him. Like we're still waiting to see some kind of output from him. It doesn't have to be a goal or an assist. Like Odegaard doesn't necessarily give us the goals and assists and that sort of output, but you can see what he's bringing on the field. You can see the ball retention.
The goal and assists and stuff like
Havertz, there was one moment in the entire game where he played like a flick on Jesus, and like that was the only good thing he'd done this game, bro. In my opinion,
I'm
anyway.
impressed by Havertz at all. I think
I do try to be, I try to be generous, and I don't want to, like spread negativity around my fan base. I just think Vieira looks like 10 times the player this season, and he got a lot of bench time.
He's had a season though. He's had a season.
Yeah, he's had a whole season, but he also he had the whole bench. Why? And I agree with Lee. Lee's been saying a few times recently that Arteta's willing to be ruthless with certain other players. Why can't he be ruthless with Havertz? I feel like he's just trying a bit too hard to force it, and I feel like Havertz just needs to like sit and watch for a few games.
If you're going to sit and watch in these games, you'll never get a game, will you? I mean, these are the games. Yeah, I mean, I sort of understand where you're coming from. I just felt today, I don't think he was poor. I think that's too harsh to say he was poor.
I'm struggling to see what he offers us, though. Like,
yeah, I thought he was decent today, but I want to see. I agree with you. I want to see more than decent. I want to see him grab a game by the horns and take it to a team. And I haven't seen that yet from him. I go back to what I keep saying, that everything I see from him at the moment is very safe. So he's not making any mistakes. He's not really making that many errors, but it's just all very safe. Like he got the ball a couple of times today on the half turn. He just passed it straight back to the player that passed it to him. I'm like,
sometimes that's okay. Sometimes that's kind of what you want, because when you want to like take the sting out of the game, and you don't want to just be completely back and forth the entire time.
Yeah, when he was doing it later on. Yeah, when he was doing it later on, that's fine.
He was doing that a bit, but I feel like there's moments when we are actually trying to like put it onto Brentford, and then the ball lands at Havertz's feet. I think he's the kind of player, and this sounds so peak, man, but I feel like he's the kind of player that like nobody wants to pass the ball to in the playground.
He's that kid in the team.
But the thing is, right, the guy,
he also plays look at him like no confidence. So, I'm sorry, I know I sound peak when I say that, but
don't we have to give him time, right? We gave Xhaka time, didn't we? We gave Xhaka a lot of time, right? So we got to give this guy time, haven't we?
But we always knew there was a really good player in Xhaka, though. I thought, for me personally, when I saw Xhaka's performance in the Euros, I was like, how are we not getting this with our Arsenal?
Did we?
And then that next season, he turned up so hard. We got the switch
when he took the armband off and threw it down. You're forgetting all those things.
Yeah. No, his attitude stunk, but I could always tell that his drive and his motivation was there. Like, he always wanted to do well. I feel like we're sort of getting the opposite of Havertz in that regard. And that's why I'm missing Xhaka so much, because it's especially like North London derby. So many people have been saying it, but we missed a player like Xhaka bad in that game. Right?
Yeah. Well, listen,
and Havertz was just the opposite.
Dylan, thank you very much for your contribution.
No, it's all right.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, man. Brilliant. There's some great points made.
Very true.
There, great points made there by Dylan on Havertz and that. Thank you. We've got next Chris. How you doing, Chris? Oh, Chris, I can't hear you, mate.
Is he on mute?
Chris, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Sorry, we can hear you now. We can hear you now.
Oh, my bad.
How you doing, bro?
Madness right now.
1-0. 1-0. Happy?
You gotta be happy with these ones. You said the question in pre-match when you were saying, would you rather a win tonight or a win at Bournemouth? To be honest, I'll add a little extra hypothetical onto that and say, if you were to say we win at Bournemouth and we win the league, no matter what happens, then cool. I'll take that. But if you meant we win tonight and we win the League Cup and we don't do anything in the league, then no, I'm not taking that. So, yeah, I am happy with the 1-0 win. To be honest, I would have preferred Chelsea rather than West Ham. Not going to that.
West Ham away is a difficult game.
This is what
100%.
This man over here telling me about, my family. I don't care about no family.
But I want to go through.
I want to go through to
the
next
nature
round.
of the fixture. It's still a London derby. We've got a very good record at the moment in London derbies. We've won.
True.
We've not lost in the last 15 London derbies, Robbie. You've got to remember that.
Yeah.
So the odds are definitely in our favour.
I wanted at home though, man. You could go away to the London Stadium. That's a difficult game.
It is. But we're Arsenal. We've
Yeah,
proven.
no, listen. But you know what you're thinking in the Carabao Cup. You know it's a competition in which you make a lot of changes. So you want to make it at home, make it. But then, I'll mind you, the way we've been playing at home, maybe we are better off going away anyway.
Absolutely. Look how we played today.
True.
Yeah, maybe we are better off going. Who impressed you today?
I did a bit of a Jordan today, to be honest. I can't lie. I missed the first half. So I was listening to you lot. I was listening to you lot for the first half. I was at goals playing football. So I caught the second half, and I'm upset I missed the youngster, Sago Jr.
Played well. First half looked really good.
Yeah, from what you guys were saying, he looked really good. So I'm sad that I missed him. But Emil Smith-Rowe, I'm sorry, man. I came on earlier in the season and I said about Havertz, and I said how Arteta didn't plan to have him as the number 8 for Xhaka, or replacement for Xhaka. He had him as the second striker to support Jesus, to do a little bit of link-up play, fit in the pockets, all that kind of stuff. And it just hasn't really worked out. I think Emil is a better suitor for that kind of role. And
so do I.
And I think that he showed that today. I know he was playing more in the Odegaard role, but he showed that today. I think if we're not starting Havertz in the 8, then it needs to be Emil at this moment in time, in my opinion.
You know, I can't argue with that, man. I think Smith-Rowe, he looked lively today. I liked his performance. I think he should have scored. I think if Smith-Rowe had played a few more games, I think that chance he had in the first half, he would have put away. Maybe he sort of overplayed it a bit.
Yeah.
But he was lively in the first half. And if we can get this guy, I think we you know, the thing about Smith-Rowe, because he's had so many injuries, we forget how good he was.
Yeah.
He was electric first. This guy was carrying us, right? So him and Saka.
Sorry to interrupt, but when you say that, like when I look at him play, even in the second half, I'm looking at him like, you want to play, but I feel like you haven't got. You're not doing things because you don't want to mess up, because you don't want to put yourself 2 steps back in the manager's eyes.
Stepping on eggshells.
Yeah. It feels like if he had a little bit more support, like the support that Havertz is getting from Arteta, if he had that from Arteta, then I think he would be doing the things that he was doing at Chelsea away 2 or 3 seasons ago, and really be in that spot. Because I think, if we're being honest, Xhaka wanted to be more of a forward midfielder as well. Yes, he's a resilient holding midfielder, but he wanted to go forward. He wanted to score goals. That's what he was doing before he joined us. And if you think about it, Emil Smith-Rowe has a much more better, like all of his qualities are more suited to that role, rather than Xhaka. He's got defensive qualities, whereas Emil hasn't got any real defensive qualities. But Emil's got all of the qualities for that number 8 role that Arteta wants to do. Not really play a midfield position, play more of a supporting striker role. So, yeah, Emil really, really impressed me today. And I hate to say it, I feel like I'm kind of reverting back on what I was saying about Havertz earlier in the season, to be honest. I really wanted it to work out for him, but it doesn't look like it's going that way.
It's still early, though. We've got to give this guy time. He's played,
Rob?
6 games.
Agent 008 now, isn't he?
008.
I was with you. I was with you for so long, and like, yes, give him time. I even was with Lee when he made that kind of that Bergkamp comment about we gave Bergkamp time and stuff.
7 games.
I know it was a bit tongue in cheek. It wasn't real, like for real, but I don't think Havertz. Do you know what? When I look at Havertz, he doesn't look like a player that it's a mentality issue. He doesn't look like, he looks like one of them players that are just comfortable with the football lifestyle.
We said a lot of these things about Xhaka. I mean, you go back, remember, it was 2 seasons before we even see anything from this guy. We said a lot of things. All he was, when he first came in, right? When he first came in, I remember the first thing we used to, one second here. First thing we always used to say about Xhaka is, what is he? The defensive midfielder, he's a holding, number 8, number 10, number 6, or he should be number 120 in change rooms. What is he? You know what I mean? That's what I was saying. I personally used to say, I was saying that for a couple of seasons. When Mikel Arteta was like, I'm keeping Xhaka, I was like, what for? In my mind, I'm thinking, why? Get rid now. There's the perfect opportunity to get rid of him. And he's showed us a player. He showed us a player in Xhaka, right?
Yeah.
So I'm with you at the moment that I don't see what I want to see from Havertz, but it is still early. We're going to have to be a bit more patient and wait and give the guy time. Because, there's a lot of players, that, it's not just Havertz. There are a lot of players like that start off slow burner.
But when you look at Szoboszlai, when you look at these kind of ballers, these kind of number 8s, I hate to say it, Maddison as well. He's a little...
Yeah, I hear you. They've started brilliantly.
But I'm just thinking, we need to compete with City, and this is where I have to be harsh like Lee, and be like, if you want to compete with City, you need people ready to go now.
Yeah.
Ready to go now.
I get it.
And I think, I'm sorry, if we could have been 6-6 in the league, I'm not saying Szoboszlai is 100% doing that, but I do think we would be in a much better position we'd be in a much better position, obviously, in the league.
Also, take time. You're talking about Man City. What about Calvin Phillips?
Calvin Phillips.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 60 million pounds. It's not just Arsenal, It can take. It's not that you got some players bang hit the ground running, boom, like you said there, Maddison, Szoboszlai. They've hit the ground running, looking brilliant at the moment. You've got other players. Takes them a little time. Takes them a little time to adjust. Sometimes they're not built like other players where, like I saw that you come on today, that Sago Jr. I'm like, this kid, to come into a
he looked
way.
Like he's been there for a while. Like he looks like he's
He looked like he's played like.
He looks how Havertz should have looked.
He's played more Premier League games than Havertz, right? But you see, I think sometimes it's just like, I don't know.
But Rob, there we go. I feel like you kind of set me up there. You kind of laid me up for this one. I'm sorry, you kind of laid me up for this one.
No, listen. The thing is about it, I'm playing a bit of devil's advocate here, but I really do strongly believe that there are some players that need time. We can't, after 8 games, say, get rid of, like I see some people in the comments, get rid of him. Number one, we ain't going to get rid of him. Pay £65 million for him.
I don't know.
We got to try and make him
Saudi
work,
money.
right?
But I take Saudi money. I'm not gonna lie. I take Saudi money. I'm being real.
The Saudis are not stupid, bro.
No, but,
let me tell you something, man. You think those people are rich for a reason.
Rich for a reason, bro.
I feel like you set me up a little bit, though. With this Sagri Jr., I know I'm taking a little bit of time. Sorry, guys. But with this Sagri Jr. thing, he's been playing with Jack Wilshere in that. He's been playing with Jack Wilshere.
He's been playing with Jack Wilshere, but he's been playing under 21 level. It is a complete... I've been to many under 21 game. Yeah, it's a completely different step up to go from under 21s. You've seen under... I think I saw... which under 21 team was it yesterday? Man United or one of their under 21 teams? They played like a League One team, got beat 5-0. You know what I mean? It's a different level.
Papa John's
right?
Trophy or something
I think it was United, wasn't it?
Under 21 Why isn't under 21 player looking more confident in a League Cup game than Havertz?
I hear you on that, but I'm just saying. I'm saying, let's wait. Let's give him a little time. Let's see. I want to see more. Listen, if you listen
tired
to...
of waiting. Time for waiting, you know.
And that's the figure. We ain't got no patience no more.
20 years me talking now, you know. Whoa. You ain't got much time.
Well, listen, thank you very much for coming on, man. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your call.
That's Josh.
We got Josh up. Next, let's hear from Josh. Just before we speak to Josh,
how's it going, Josh?
We got a super chat here from Mark T, who says Xhaka didn't cost 65 million though. Kai did. There is more expectation from him because he costs so much. I get it. To be patient on the price we pay. But shouldn't he be doing something? He ain't at the moment. Well, actually, even though Xhaka didn't cost 65 million. Xhaka at the time, 35 million. Remember, them times there, when we spent 35 million, that was like we spent 100 million under Arsene Wenger, right? He was a very expensive signing. if I'm right, I'm sure he was the most expensive signing at the time.
At the time.
Came in with a big reputation, of course, came from German football, and just didn't hit the ground running.
Just to correct you, I think he was
He
second.
hit people.
I think he was. I think he hit people. I think he was second behind Özil at the time. But even still, that shows the company that he's in. But the thing that I think that's a bit harsh because Kai Havertz, you know, it's not his fault he cost 65 million.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
But he did. And the Real Madrid Arsenal says, Robbie, you keep talking about give him time. It's just 8 games. Dude, we've seen enough of Havertz in Premier League. He's not up there. We need a refund as soon as possible. As I said, you cannot go for it. And there's been other players at other clubs. They ain't really done nothing. Yeah, and then they've gone to other clubs and that club has suited them and they've been brilliant. I don't know we have it. I'm in agreement. I want to see more.
Chelsea keep doing this to us, Robbie. We just got to learn our lesson.
Don't mind our players from Chelsea.
Job solved. Solution. Modern day problems.
Somebody asked me this question the other day, right? Let me ask this. Sorry, what was it? It was Josh. Let me ask this to you, Josh, right? And I'm going to ask this to you as well, Frank.
Yep.
Somebody asked me this question the other day. If Chelsea turned around and said, you know what, actually, we're selling Mudryk now, would you take him?
No. Because I look at Mudryk like, how much is he going to cost for us? Would they pay 100 million for him?
All right, they paid 88 million for him. Let's say they turn around and said, all right, Arsenal, we give you him for 50.
Does he start ahead of Trossard? Does he start ahead of Martinelli? No.
Okay, you?
Where does he fit in our team?
I wouldn't give Chelsea 5 million for him, yet alone 50 million. And I said this before he went to Chelsea as well. I'm so glad that we got Trossard over Mudryk, and we're seeing why now. Because he just doesn't seem to be up for it. And I think it's always a worry when you get these players that come from these other leagues. After one good season, you pay 100 million for him. We saw it with Pepe.
Yeah.
It's too much of a risk.
Does Havertz deserve time?
He deserves time, but for me, I look at Smith Rowe today and I was very impressed with him. In the first half especially, I thought some of his runs, the way he glides, the way he links up. And then I look at Havertz and I know he's cost 65 mil. So there'll be a lot of pressure on him because of that as well. But I just look at him and I think, fair enough, we give him time, but he doesn't have that fluidity in our attack. That's the main thing for me. I think his press and he wins his duels. That's all well and good, but for 65 mil, I think he needs to be doing more. He needs to have done more, and I'm not seeing that. And for me, a player like Smith Rowe, if you look at the season he had, was it 21, 22 or something? He was amazing, and I think he's been quite unlucky because he had that season, he was amazing, and then the season after he struggled with injury. But for me now, if he's coming back into the side, I think he has every right to be playing over a player like Kai Havertz. I'm not saying bin Havertz, get rid of him. I think he still deserves time, but I don't see why we shouldn't be giving chances to other players such as Smith Rowe, even Fabio Vieira. I've been impressed with when they're the ones delivering on the pitch.
Would you start Smith Rowe at the weekend?
I would. I was going to say this. I would start Smith Rowe against Bournemouth. I think I was impressed with him today. I think it's the perfect game to start him in. And I think for me, he's got to start getting these minutes again. We know he can do it in the Prem. He can score. He can assist. He's great on the left, and even in midfield, I want to see him in that Xhaka role. I know there's Xhaka roles are very I know we miss Xhaka and all that, but for me, I look at a player like Smith Rowe and I think he has all the qualities, all the ability for him to thrive in that role. I think with Kai Havertz, I think he can do very well. I think I've seen glimpses of his play where I've been impressed, but then I've seen bits of his play where I'm like, it's very hard for me to feel confident about this signing. It's very hard for me to feel like this is a good signing. And you made a good point saying that Granit Xhaka took time and all that. And I do think we should give a player a bit of time. But for me, as of now, if there's players like Smith Rowe, Fabio Vieira, who are all performing better, then they've got to start ahead of Kai Havertz.
John Russell here, he says, on the question of Havertz, it was a super chat, he says, who would you say is the best signing we've made from Chelsea in recent years?
I mean, it's not been many.
Let me ask you first, Josh.
That's a tough question because none of them I can't think of any of them that have been. You know what? Yeah, this is controversial, but I'd say David Luiz because he won us the FA Cup.
That's what John Russell said. David Luiz as well.
Because he won us a trophy at the end of the day.
I mean, I've got to go back to William Gallas. I'd go back that far.
No.
I'd go back that far. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from David Luiz when I say that.
Gallas when he just sat down on that pitch that time.
Oh yeah, but I'm not excusing that. Trust me, don't worry. But in terms of the player that he was for the club, that's the only one I can think of that's been from Chelsea to Arsenal a success. There's been plenty that have gone the other way, Arsenal to Chelsea, but Chelsea to Arsenal, one season.
For me, I would say David Luiz. Purely on the basis that he played well, we won the FA Cup, we won a trophy, but I don't think any of the signings from Chelsea have been successful at all.
By no more players from Chelsea, man.
I'm fully agreed. Completely agreed. Let's get
especially
Eddie on.
Now. Especially
Eddie.
the batch they got now, man. If they're offloading any of them, stay far.
Get Eddie on the phone. Tell him not to buy from Chelsea anymore.
Well, I think the thing is about it, right? I think that was Arteta signing Havertz.
We can bet Arteta.
I think so too.
and he went all out to get him. Real Madrid were interested. Bayern. He jumped in. That was our first signing this summer. Remember that? First signing, Havertz. You know,
it came out of nowhere as well because Real Madrid were looking at him. Then all of a sudden we were in. And I think with a signing like that, I think because Arteta's gone and got him, because he's paid the money, I don't think he's gonna back down from playing him.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll back down from constantly giving him a chance, which I think is fair enough. But what I was saying, I don't think I've seen enough from him to warrant a start in the Premier League at all. I don't think I'm seeing enough from him in terms of what he contributes to the attack.
Just before you go there, you happy with the draw? West Ham away?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly better than a lot of other teams we could have got. For me though, I'll go back to what you said before the stream in terms of Premier League or the Carabao Cup and all that. I just think I don't see us really having a chance of beating City in the Prem this year. I just think they're way too strong.
It's too early.
I know it's early, but we're already 4 points behind them, and I just think it's going to be
7 games.
4 points.
Yeah, I know, but with a team like Man City, I just think you can't afford
4 points.
I know. I'm not saying.
You're throwing in the towel of how many points were we had last season?
We were 1 point above.
How many points were we had last? Did we win the league?
No.
Let me ask you this, right? If City, I think they got an easy game this weekend, if I remember rightly. But let's just say City this weekend lost their game, yeah, and we won our game. How many points will we be behind them?
We'll be two behind them. Is that right? Or one?
No, one point.
Yeah, we'll be one.
After that would be a scenario after one game.
Wolves away.
So how can they got Wolves away? So how can 4 points at this stage of the season be?
I know it's early.
I think City are gonna. It's early, man. You cannot. I don't care if it's Man City. It's too early. It's too early to make them assumptions. And as I said, even if we'd have won every single game, I wouldn't be talking about no league either. It's still early. There's lots and twists and turns. We don't know who's going to get injured. Look at the other day against Tottenham, going into that game, just for the game, no Trossard, no this. Half time, Declan Rice comes off. Right? Anything can happen in football. We're playing City coming up. Rodri's out because he got himself stupidly sent off. There's so many scenarios that can happen between now, good or bad, that could happen between now and the end of the season. You can't say. It's too early. I don't care if it's Man City. Man City
I agree
Man
with you
City are a great side, and
that.
we know that. Man City are relentless, we know that. But you cannot write off our chances or any other team's chances right now that's right up there. Teams that are looking that they can do something this season. You can't. Listen, Liverpool are in it. Liverpool are in it big time this season.
I'm not necessarily writing us off. I just think we have a great chance to win a trophy in the Carabao Cup, and I think that being the case, I think we should take advantage of that.
Of course, take advantage of that, but for me, the league's a priority. Do not write
100%
off.
it's a priority.
The league is a funny thing, you know what I mean? You can go, you know what I mean? The other day I saw Newcastle struggle, right, against the same Brentford that we played tonight. right? Then they went during the week. They had to play AC Milan. I was like, that's a tricky game away. They rode their luck. Really should have got beaten in that game. Got out of that one. And then at the weekend, I'm thinking that's, even though it's a relegated team that's just come up, I'm thinking that's quite a little difficult game. You've just been on the road at Milan. You got to go away to Sheffield United. Boy, Sheffield United, they nearly beat Tottenham the week before.
Bang.
Tottenham only beat them in the last minute. Go put 8 past them.
8-0.
So the league is a weird, funny, it's got too long to go to be saying stuff like, we're too far behind City already. Nah, we're unbeaten this season. We're 1 point.
Unbeaten.
We're 1 point worse off than we were after 6 games last season. We're 1 point worse off.
But the reason I say that is just because I look at the performances though, and I've not necessarily been satisfied with what I've seen in terms of our performances.
Like at the start of the season, speak to last season, if you spoke to a City fan and you said, what do you make of our performances? They were all moaning and saying, we ain't hit the thing running yet, boy, it's just so slow. I don't think we're going to do nothing. They were like, I was chatting to guys like Big Stephen. I'm not sure if we're going to do anything this season, man. Boy, we're really not playing well. I don't know why Pep's changed this. But what happened at the end of the season?
Champions.
They won the treble.
Quadruple, was it?
Treble they won. Treble.
League, Champions League, FA Cup.
Yeah, that's 3. Treble.
Sorry, yeah, League Cup Man United. Sorry.
Don't go giving them more.
I forgot about the League Cup.
Don't go giving them more. They won everything.
My bad.
Everything they won, the whole lot.
Look,
if you'd have spoke to a City fan at this stage last season, right, they were moaning because they weren't moaning like on the levels like get rid of Pep or anything like that. But they were just what they were saying is what you just said. They were like, we've not seen a performance yet from City. We're just not performing at the moment. So I know that we're not as good as City, right? They are the benchmark, but what I would say is still too early for us to be, saying things like, season's over. Ages to go yet. Ages.
I just think if it's any other team in the league, I'm properly and I'm fully riding out for us to win the league. It's just I know the animal and the monster that Man City are, and especially look, I know.
We got to be the monster slayer.
I know we do, and I think
we got to be the monster slayer.
It's just it's hard for me to be optimistic about that as much as I try.
Oh gosh, I was hoping that you finish us off tonight on a little vibes up and thing, you know what I mean? But
look, I'm not. I'm saying I think we got a better chance of doing something in the Champions League than the Premier League.
But I'll take that too.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Well, thank you very much.
Either or,
man. Appreciate it, man.
Take care.
Cool. We got one more caller coming up before we wrap it up. TJ with a super chat says Kai is a very sneaky player off the ball. He's always making runs in space in behind the box. Timber's long ball and passing is needed to unlock Kai. Well, we ain't gonna be seeing Timber anytime soon, so that ain't gonna happen. He needs to run on to what we're providing right now.
Yeah.
Our last caller of the night.
Dini,
how you doing, bro?
Man?
I'm good, Robbie. I'm good. How are you? How are you, Frank? Good?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. I'm feeling good. I mean, I wanted to get Exeter City at home in the next round.
Nice.
You know what I mean? But we haven't. We've drawn West Ham. But listen, I was very impressed. I was very impressed tonight by Arsenal. That is a difficult game. That weren't your regular Carabao Cup game. That's a difficult game tonight. That felt like a Premier League game. They really stuck it on us in the second half. They were desperate to win. And we had to really weather a storm, quite literally. It was stormy. The wind was horrible as well. We had to weather a storm, and we came through that test with a much changed team. And I was really impressed with the team tonight.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. The Brentford that we saw in the second half was the Brentford I thought we were going to see in the first half. But credit to us in the first half, we controlled the first half for me, pretty much all of it. One thing I will say that I haven't seen anyone else say, if Wissa was less rash and less reactive, that could have been a different scoreline today, because he did have a hat full of chances that he could have scored from. But credit to us and credit to Arsenal. It's another clean sheet away from home. That's our third clean sheet away from home this season in all competitions. Our third 1-0 win as well. We do seem to control games better away from home. We're just too erratic at home, which is, I don't know. It's still early in the season.
What is it? Why is it we're away from home? Everybody's, because you know what I noticed today, for instance, right? They be getting the long throws in, they're swinging corners. Got absolutely even if they won that second ball, there was so many bodies in front of them that they just couldn't get through it. At home, I don't
know.
see that. We don't do that at home. Why?
I think in the past when we've played away from home, we've had batterings away from home, and even though we haven't necessarily won trophies over the years with our home record at Emirates, it's generally been good, our home record. So away from home, Arteta definitely wanted to get that. Can you still hear me properly?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, cool. Yeah. Arteta, he when he came in, that's definitely something he wanted to address straight away. So I'm glad that we've got that. Our home record is not terrible because we haven't lost there, but too many of the conceding of goals it needs to stop very much soon. Very much soon.
100%. And let me, because we're running out of time now, but I'm going to ask you this question quickly. Saturday's a game. Saturday. 3 o'clock Saturday, I'll be at the game. Bournemouth away. If you was in charge, Dini Arteta, who starts in goal?
Tinkerman.
Raya or Ramsdale, who was brilliant tonight?
In all honesty, I'd start Carl Hein. I think he deserves a chance. I think he's ready for it. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm an agent of chaos. I don't want peace. I want problems.
Good one.
Big up, Carl. Big up, Carl.
Carl Hein. But in all honesty, though, I don't. In terms of this subject, I'm not really bothered because they're both quality keepers, and whoever starts on Saturday, I'm more than happy. I think Ramsdale can big himself up tonight because it was another quality save from Whistle, and he has a habit of doing that. I can still even remember that save he did in the first season against Maddison for the free kick against Leicester. Things like that. He has a lot of that in his locker, so I feel like he needs more respect on his name. So I'm happy either way.
All right. Well, listen, thank you very much, man. And we look forward to the game at the weekend.
Thank you, Dini.
Bro.
Big up. Take care.
Carl Hein. Big up Carl Hein.
Loads of calls. Big up Carl Hein.
Used to follow Young Guns, funny enough, as well.
Big up Carl Hein.
Hein.
Big up Carl Hein. He's still got a big future ahead of him. Well, listen, Frank, been a busy one, man.
Has been indeed.
Been a busy one, but we are through to the next round of the Carabao Cup, where we'll be facing your family members of West Ham.
That's going to be a fun day. My family members, my boss. I can't wait to win that game.
Yeah. Well, listen, a big game away to West Ham. It won't be easy, but listen, we're into the next round, and that's the most important thing. There are certain clubs based in North London that are not in the next round, right? They're out, right? You know what I mean? Ange Ball and all that, they're out, right? We are through to the next round after navigating a very difficult game away at Bournemouth. We've got another difficult game coming up at the weekend. Away at Brentford. We're away to Bournemouth at the weekend, and we will be there. So make sure you check out all of our content from there. We're going to be doing a watch along. You guys will be able to join us after the game on FANZONE. If you haven't already done it, download it on our app AFTV Plus and get involved. We want to hear from as many of you as possible after the game. It's so easy to use. Just click a couple of buttons wherever you are in the world, and you're through to us live to have your say. So make sure you do that. Also, don't forget tonight, there's still lots of content to come from outside the ground. You'll be hearing from all of the guys. Getting their views on what they made of the performance tonight. It's going to be really interesting to see what they made of it. Lee, Laurie, Cecil, all those guys are there. So make sure, Turkish was at the game tonight as well. So make sure you check out all the fan cams. But yeah, it's been a marathon. But listen, it's been brilliant. Frank, thank you very much.
No worries.
Thank you guys out there. And also to James, get well soon. I know he's been very under the weather today. But get well soon, mate. And hopefully we see you back at the weekend. Thanks for watching. AFTV, don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and we will see you very soon.